Hi, welcome to Truth to Tal Isaac. I'm Tal.
I'm Isaac.
Episode number 139 coming at you, and it's a big show.
Big show.
Big show. Rarely are they little shows. They're all big shows.
That's true.
It's true. They're all big shows.
There's a lot going on.
We're going to talk about the Lions, a couple of big wins, the NFL as a whole, NBA opening night, and we need to just pay a little ode to our Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, thank you, Tigers.
Thank you, boys.
Okay,
October is great, right? We just talked about all the different things that we could talk about. Plus NHL, we're not really big hockey guys, so we're not talking about the NHL. But listen, when the Red Wings get on a roll, we'll pay more attention to them.
Yeah, that's real.
Okay. A little bit of a debate happened the last little bit with Ant-Man and Justin Jefferson. They were doing the whole Minnesota GOAT reprisal thing with Kevin Durant and Randy Moss.
Nope, that's not it.
Who was it?
Kevin Durant and Randy Moss?
Oh, no, Kevin Garnett.
Yeah.
Kevin Garnett and Randy Moss. Sorry, KD. I know he listens to the show sometimes.
He probably does, because he's tapped into stuff like this.
Oh, but you listen to the show on his burner account.
Yeah, he probably comments.
Yeah,
probably comments hate speech.
Yeah, probably.
No, we're actually pretty pro KD, I would say. Kevin,
Oh,
we
generally
actually
we're
like
pretty
it.
pro KD.
Yeah, I liked your move to Golden State. I just wish you'd stayed there and didn't
You
leave.
didn't need to leave.
Poverty
It's
broke
okay
me.
to be a GOAT and stay with greatest team of all time.
Thanks for listening, Kevin.
Anyway, so the question is, Justin Jefferson thinks that there's a whole bunch of NFL guys who can play in the NBA, and Ant is certain there's a bunch of NBA guys that could transition to the NFL, including him, right? He'd say he'd be a top whatever receiver. What are your thoughts on that whole transition between those two sports?
We could do a whole segment on this. We'll try to keep
We'll just give him a little taste.
quick. Yeah.
Little taste.
Look, in the NBA, if you can't shoot, you won't play. That's what the league is right now. So if you get a football player who's, he's got a 43-inch vertical and a sick athlete and benches, 350 pounds, if they can't shoot a 20-foot jump shot, they're not going to play.
Listen, in the 80s, it was a different ballgame. Now, it's everybody's got to shoot.
Whereas if you get a guy who is, let's say, a basketball player going football who has really good hands and is really quick, he can make it as a receiver or a return specialist type guy, right?
A safety.
Yeah, even safety, right? If you don't even have hands.
What is Ant? Is he 6'5", maybe?
A lot of debate with Ant. Anywhere from like 6'4" to 6'6", he kind of lies. Yeah. Why?
But Brian Branch, an unbelievable athlete. But I don't think he's going to play shooting guard on the Pistons.
Last year.
Actually, he's better than Killian.
Probably 11th man. Right? Not last year's team.
That's not a great example. Tom.
Yeah. Anyways, I think you're more likely to get a sick basketball athlete, a guy like Ant, a guy like Jimmy, or a huge dude like KD, even LeBron, if you want to throw him in there because he wants to play for every team. They're more likely to succeed in the NFL, I'd say. And then unless it's guys like that have prior skills, right? Draymond Green played a bit in college. DeAndre Hopkins played a bit in college. Guys like that.
Yeah, tons of guys who seem to play college basketball and transition to tight ends in the NBA. Sorry, tight ends in the NFL. There's a lot of that.
Right? March Madness, it's like not every game, but it's like every fourth game. It's like this guy played this sport and this sport. Like, that's awesome. That's metal.
Okay, so Isaac and I spoke. We did a lot of show prep on this. We're going to do a huge deep dive into the U.S. election.
Let's go.
We're each going to take 10 different points, pro and con.
I have 15.
You're 15?
Yeah. 15.
With Harris and Trump. Actually, no. We're not doing any of that. That's a complete stay away.
Stay away.
No mas.
Okay, back to the actual show.
Back to the actual show.
I'll take over. What are you
You go nuts. I was going to talk about Tua, but we'll talk about that in the NFL bit.
Okay, so I've got a couple. I have like two off the tops. One of them's a bow question. We had a bow question last time. Another bow question.
Okay, good bow question.
I'm going to defer to you on this one because I have some answers, but this is some more history, and you're older than me, more experienced. Best era for each sport, each respective sport.
Oh, that's a great question. So NHL.
So I'll say what I kind of came up with and what Bao said. Because this is not really in my wheelhouse, but like this is just gauging off of like highlights and what I've read. NHL, he said kind of 90s, early O's. Elite goalie play like Brodeur and Patrick Waugh, those guys. And they could fight and they could hit, and it was a different game than it is now.
Closer, I'm going to say NHL just because.
That's NHL, I said 90s.
I would say NHL 80s.
Okay.
Leaking into 90s, right? Gretzky, Messier, Lemieux, some of the greatest dynasties of all time. First part, you had their Islanders with Bossy and Trottier and those guys. Then, obviously, you had Edmonton Oilers with Coffey, Gretzky, Lemieux, Curry.
Named all those guys already.
So I'm going to say 80s for the NHL.
Okay. So NFL, I said...
Ooh, this is a really tough
NFL, this is tough, and this might be recency bias. I said 2010s because this is, the last of the elite headhunting defenses. And then this is probably the prime QB play in NFL history, right? Like you had back half of Brady. He had Brady's like second and third career, not his first career, because he has 3 Hall of Fame careers, right?
Yep.
You've got the Mannings, you've got Breeze, you've got Phillip Rivers, you've got Big Ben, you've got Joe Flacco. You've got like this really good group of quarterbacks that were kind of there forever, and then you still had solid defense. And
Yeah,
it was
I'm
not
going
what
to
it is
agree
now.
with you. You had the Ray Lewis's of the world still there. I'm going to agree with you. The 2010s, elite quarterbacks. And listen, when the NFL were really able to market their game, market their store, market their stars, take over Thursday nights, take over Sunday nights. Like the NFL for a long time was Sunday at 1 o'clock, Sunday at 4 o'clock, Monday night. And that's it. Fantasy football and betting, I think, helped the NFL a ton. That really picked up, in the last kind of 10, 15 years. So I'm going to agree with you on the NFL 2010 to 2019 or 20, however you want to word it.
Okay, make sure you don't hit the table when you're talking for the viewers.
Copy that. Sorry,
MLB, I wrote down steroid era. I don't know when that was, and I don't know what the best era is. Like, is it the 1880s? Is it like the 6? I don't know. There's a lot of baseball is so long, right? So I don't know. This is not me.
Again, this is pre-me. I'm actually going to go with 60s, I think. That's the DiMaggio. You got the pitchers that were just unbelievable. They actually had to change the rules in 1968 after, guys are going 31-2 and
All right.
things along those lines.
Next one, NBA. This is tough. I was between 80s or 90s.
Not 80s. 80s, there was still too much cocaine in the first half of the 80s.
Okay, shadow cocaine in the 80s in the NBA.
70s and early 80s, there was just
I just wrote down
crazy.
like Bird Magic. That's when it not peaked, but that's when it started going up.
Bird Magic started that momentum, then Jordan picked it up and just rocketed.
So 90s, I just wrote down Jordan Rain, and then when Jordan wasn't playing, you had Akeem. So I wrote down 90s. I think that would be what most people would say.
I think so. You're going to have some people that say the last 10 years. I don't know if you can do a half decade.
I don't think so. With what the game is now, there's a lot of like old people, old purists that are anti 3-pointers.
For sure. It's a bit of a different game, but talk about marketing and people paying attention. It's an international sport now where it wasn't an international sport back then.
Yeah, shout out other countries.
I think 90s, but that's when like fall of Russia happened, so a lot of those guys.
So that's a stay away,
started
right? No need to talk about the fall of Russia. We're just talking hoop right now, okay?
No, but like
Yep. Next,
egregious Sabonis,
Okay.
like the big Sabonis.
Three movies that I want to talk about briefly. Shawshank. Put it on the other day for like 45 minutes just to chip away at it.
So good.
Just
Awesome.
got to remind the people, put on Shawshank. Aladdin. Hadn't seen it since I was a kid. Really great. Tal? Really
Bauer's
good.
putting pressure on me to watch these cartoon
No.
movies.
You're watching Paddington with us. That's a
I
fact.
know I need to watch Paddington. I
started
did
it.
say to Bauer, I'm going to commit to watching Paddington, but
And Wiz is in as
I'm
well.
going to go back
Like
to
it's-
Aladdin? No.
And then Gladiator 2.
Ooh. We were just watching the highlights the other day. That
Not
was
there's not
trailers.
it's not,
Trailers are
it's not
really
like
highlights.
Coliseum fight montage. Best of
Pretty much is a
Maximus.
call. And like one of the things that you often hear is, oh, all the good scenes were in the trailer. Listen, the trailers are so good for Gladiator 2. I don't care if they just rewind and repeat that 47 times. It'll still be awesome.
Okay, Shadow Gladiator 2, we'll see that in theaters. He'll fall asleep within 20 minutes.
No, I don't think so. I've been better lately.
Okay, 40 minutes. Let's talk about the Lions right now. Lions just beat Minnesota on the road. Let's roll. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so I guess we'll circle back. We didn't really talk about the Dallas game much. I think we should spend a couple minutes on the Dallas game.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so Dallas was a huge win. They smashed some old ghosts and some demons. They destroyed the Cowboys on the national stage. And listen, was it a little bit cheeky with Decker and Penne and Skipper reporting? Yeah, but they're just showing up. They're just, what's it called? Bag with NBA when
Yeah.
you got,
Well, a completely different use of bag here. NBA players have a bag, is what the term would be. But
so
it doesn't
Johnson
apply.
was emptying out the bag on Dallas.
Sure. Okay.
He really was. Obviously, losing Hutch was big. We do need that skeleton, elephant in the closet, whatever you want to call it. It's huge. I have a couple of stats that were interesting. So now we're leaking right into Minnesota. Against Minnesota, the Detroit Lions had 15 quarterback pressures. By chance, do you happen to know how many quarterback pressures Hutch had against Tampa?
Against Tampa? Oh,
Against Tampa.
No, I don't know.
15.
Interesting.
Yeah, so here's the problem. The Lions had a good team win. We're aware of that. A couple guys on defense stepped up. I think McNeil we need to give credit to. Branch was awesome. What you talk about Brian Branch? Because you've been on that bandwagon for a long time.
Thank you. I wanted Branch to get drafted the first round. Like I didn't know a ton about college, but I just knew, bam, a guy that can play all over the place is going to go big. So I got negatives, positives. I guess we'll start. I'd like to start with the negatives, actually.
With Minnesota?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
There was no negatives with Dallas other than Hutch, right? And we don't need to go into that.
Agreed.
It's tragic. It sucks, but
Yep.
he's going to come back and the boys are fired up, right? Negatives with Minnesota. No pass rush, really evident, especially on the edges. Secondary had some breakdowns, which goes back to not having a pass rush. Like, people don't really realize that. If Sam Darnold's got 5 seconds to throw, there's going to be somebody open. It's not necessarily a breakdown, but
Jefferson is probably the best receiver in the NFL.
he is, I think, for sure. Monty dinged up / ineffective, sucks, but like, we've seen enough of Monty. He's just going to run dudes over. He'll be fine in a week or two.
Yep.
Right guard, Kyoda Wusika.
Good pronunciation.
That's just kind of going phonetically there. I'm not sure. Wow. Wow. Just, he was really bad. He had 3 penalties in the first quarter. It was terrible. And like I said, the edge was weak. Eye test, and then, wow, the Pro Football Focus grades, just bad across the board for the edge rushers. Like, Pascal, I think, had a sack, but graded out pretty poorly. So those are the negatives. Do you have any other negatives for the game?
How they started. They started really weak.
Yeah, the season was over after the first quarter.
Yeah.
I was calling it. Season
First
was
quarter,
over.
first 5 minutes.
It's like, you're down 10-0, no Hutch. Monty looks dinged up pretty bad, and you're down 10-0 on the road in a divisional game. I called the season, almost.
Maybe Isaac tends to overreact a little bit on those things.
Yeah. It's a 17-game season. It's tough not to, right? A lot of grit. Wow. Not a lot of teams are winning that game. But this Lions team, 10-0 on the road, divisional game, can come back and win. Great stuff.
They made a statement. They really, really did.
Yeah. So Goff, past 3 weeks, has been what we need, like an MVP type guy. Obviously didn't start the year great, had a couple rough outings. Tampa wasn't the best stuff. But he's been an MVP guy. He really has. So other than Branch being an all-pro, the linebacker play has been great. Eye test as well as pro football stuff.
Linebackers have been awesome. Here's a stat that I think it's important for us to talk about. They have more offensive touchdowns than incompletions in the last 4 games.
Yeah, I just said, say your stupid stat that you love. Yeah,
that's an amazing stat. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't love like the gimmicky stats like that, but
I don't think that's gimmicky.
Yeah,
So I guess the question is Goff in the MVP conversation?
That is such a TSN.
The answer is yes.
Question. What a dumb question.
Okay, but where is he?
Definitely top 3 right now.
Yeah, I've got Jackson and Mahomes ahead of him, but I got him 3rd.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
But pound for pound, I don't like the 3 best lines. Pound for pound, I've kind of come up with this, and I stand by it. Is Penei, Hutch, and Branch. Pound for pound, I think those are the 3 best Lions.
I agree with you.
Then probably Ragnow 4. And then 5, you can have Amon-Ra or Gibbs. That's kind of how I think, like, pound for pound, actual best dudes on the team. Yeah, so I think Goff has played great. He's stepping up. He's making the plays. First read's not open.
Just to circle back to that question. Do you have Penei ahead of Hutch?
Probably, but it's tough. It's tough to say.
It's completely different positions, and it's hard to recognize and rate that. I have Penei ahead of Hutch, but Hutch is right there.
Well, Hutch was on his way to winning Defensive Player of the Year, actually.
Yep.
And Pro Football Focus, like, maybe having the best defensive season ever, according to their metrics, right?
Yeah.
So it's tough to say. We also didn't talk about Jake Bates. Shout out Jake Bates.
Dude was selling bricks like a year and a half ago, and I didn't believe that story. I heard it on the radio or something, then I looked it up. It's a fact.
Yeah, it's fact. That's really made the rounds
So he's
the
Kurt
past
Warner.
2 days. Old man Tim Patrick has just been great. Like, so
Making
good.
big plays, good blocker down the field.
Downfield blocking was a big thing, where it's like JMO not getting, we'll talk about JMO later, but
Yeah.
like JMO not getting involved a ton. Great downfield blocking. Just wants to hit people. And Raymond as well. We've always been big Raymond enthusiasts.
So solid guy. Makes plays when you need to. Doesn't make mistakes on special teams.
No. So we talked about the Pro Football Focus grades. I pulled it up, and I wanted to look at the highest graded defenders, because we talked about how Branch just looks incredible, like off ball, on ball, everything about him is perfect. So Branch was the highest graded defensive player. After that, it was 4 linebackers. So 4 of the top 5 Pro Football Focus defensive guys were linebackers.
Who's the one dude?
Trevor Nowaski.
Yeah.
Who we were watching him, and I just kept saying, like, guys just
I
making
knew
plays.
he was a practice squad guy, but he was making plays. He only had like 16 plays or something, but he had impact.
So he was the second highest, and then Anzalone, Rodrigo, and Campbell, respectively, all played great. Linebacker players
Campbell's looking good.
Campbell's looking good, and even on the edge as well.
I admit that I put a little too much stock into how much these linebackers can press the quarterback. That's not really their thing. Maybe Derek Barnes. That was about it.
Well, Barnes, most of these guys aren't on the line linebackers. Most of them are in pass coverage. So the fact that some of these guys are transitioning, Rodrigo kind of could, but it was not an Anzalone or Campbell or Barnes' bag for that matter. They just kind of developed that with the Lions scheme.
Agreed.
Do we want to talk about, do you have anything more on the Minnesota game specifically?
No, I think we got it covered.
So now
it was super exciting, right? Division game, first place in the NFC.
Yeah, do you want to talk about the announcers or like briefly, 20 seconds?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Just frustrating. Like it took them so long to compliment Lions on anything, be it an individual play, that game, or where they are in the season. I don't get it. It was Olsen and who else?
I don't know.
It was bad.
Yeah, just terrible. We don't need to go into it. I'm pretty critical of announcers, but didn't love it. It's a very hard gig. I get it, but it's just like that seems really anti-Lions. But I'm not biased at all. It's a joke. Brackets. I'm biased.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about how they're not going to make a big trade, or should we just not crush people's dreams? Because they're not.
They're going to trade for a rotation guy.
They're going to trade for somebody. I don't see them giving up anything more than a third round.
Like who's the 32-year-old dude from Cleveland?
Old man Za'Darius.
Za'Darius, yes.
Yeah, Za'Darius Smith.
It'll be a guy like that for a fourth round pick.
Yeah, it'll be something like that. Like when it first happened, and there's the Max Crosby buzz. There was a lot of smart people saying that they're going to get this guy and they're going to give up 2 firsts. And I was always like, let's look at Holmes' his track record as A trading GM, and B, as a drafter. He values his picks higher than everybody else does.
Yeah.
As he should, right? Rightfully so. He doesn't see a 4th round pick. He sees Amon-Ra St. Brown. He doesn't see Branch. He doesn't see 2nd round pick. He sees Branch. So I'm saying, like, if you give a 3rd round pick, Holmes views that as probably a late first. Realistically, that's probably how it grades out. Maybe early second.
Yeah, no, realistically, I agree with you. They didn't roll out a lot of blitzes, especially from the secondary against Minnesota. But I see like Branch coming off the edge more. Some of the cornerbacks coming off the edge more to give them different looks.
Yeah, they're going to do different looks. They're not the Max Crosby thing. Like, I don't understand why people bought into it. Look, who knows? Maybe in 2 days,
it's fun. It's hype.
Maybe in 2 days, you're going to give up 2 firsts and a 3rd and get Crosby. I think there's a 0.5% chance that happens, if not lower. It's not going to happen.
Crosby or a guy like a top...
Crosby or Garrett. Those are the big 2.
Okay, they're not getting any of those 2 guys.
Yeah, but so many smart people. And now they've kind of come around like, oh, that's not going to happen. But there's a stretch where as soon as Hutch went out, it was like, feel bad for Hutch. And then, okay, we're going to get Max Crosby and it's going to happen. That was a pipe dream. Even Hassan Reddick. I didn't buy into. That guy hasn't played all year. Do you think that's a locker room guy Campbell is going to want to bring in?
Campbell does not deal with that stuff.
That's another thing. A lot of these guys are Lions, drafted Lions, like true and true, right?
Yep.
So they're going to have to go through like all the kind of the interview process that they would do to draft a guy to make sure he's a culture and a chemistry fit.
Another reason why trades are less likely under this era.
Especially with the Lions, a team that's super culture gritty, right? Yep. So there's my take. They're going to get somebody. Campbell was on 97.1 and basically said that. And said they're going to get a guy.
They're going to rotation guy.
But I would be like, let's lower expectations. It's all next man up to a fault. Like, honestly, if I was Holmes, and I'm not Holmes, if I was Holmes, I'd probably give up 2 1s and get Crosby. I think I would. I think the NFC is that wide open.
So if I could get this year and next year for Crosby, I'm doing it.
I'm doing it.
Because guess what? It's pick number 28 and pick number high 20s.
No, it's pick number 32 and 32, right? It's super or bust.
Well, you get Crosby and Hutch next year.
That's the thing. Where it's like...
Right, like their DBs are getting better this year. Like we've seen some improvements. Right, Arnold's gone at least a couple hours without getting a flag. That's something. And they're playing okay. Like people forget last year, it wasn't 100 yards a game. It was 150, 160, 180 yards to Jefferson and Kupp, Puka Nacua, those guys.
Yeah, so they're not going to get a big guy. They're going to get somebody, but let's just like... And here's why I would give up. Like, this is the year to go all in. This is the Lions' year. I don't want to say Team of Destiny yet. We'll save that for the playoffs. It's going to be Team of Destiny stuff. This is our year.
Yeah, who said, hey, let's try and win 1 Super Bowl before we focus on winning 3 Super Bowls?
I don't know.
Meaning, give up a bit of the future to try and win a Super Bowl because your window is right now. But I just don't think that's their way.
It's 100% not their way. I would. Let the record show, like, I would go all in on Crosby. I don't think it's going to happen, and I get why it's not. I completely understand it, but that's my bit there.
Okay. We do need to talk about JMO's 2-game suspension that just came out last night.
Yeah, last night. And
shout out Jerry Trainer for texting me. Did you know about it before he texted us?
I'm not sure. Like I don't remember. It's still not like confirmed. It's kind of some fishy stuff about like
somebody. I heard an energy drink, whatever the heck that means.
Well, there's a whole different. It's like it's not a drug. Like it's not like a PED performance enhancement. It seems to be some sort of like recovery thing, but like it's all speculation at this point. I think Goldman said it was like a cough syrup thing. Like it's like we don't know yet. We're gonna find out. It's frustrating.
If anybody finds out, rabbit hole, please send us a message on Instagram. So
buddy,
we can
you think
tell the truth?
You think Lions Twitter? I'm deep into Lions Twitter. I'll find out when it's out. I promise that.
Yeah, but Lions Twitter follows us, and they're gonna let us know.
Okay, let us know, guys.
Yeah, please do.
It's gonna happen.
Send me a letter in the mail.
Yeah. Okay. Smoke signals. Do you have anything else to talk about, JMO? It sucks.
No, it sucks. So he needs a handler.
I know you're going to do this old take. Go ahead. I don't like this old head take.
Listen, Dennis Rodman, you knew exactly where it was going to go. Somehow Dennis Rodman didn't get suspended for all the shenanigans that he did because he had good handlers, right? You need to just have fun, be part of Detroit. That's one of the reasons why Detroit loves you. But you just need to have somebody to go hire Isaac for, I don't know, $200,000 a year?
Yeah, back to the talking.
And just let Isaac take care of you for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, look, here's the deal. Like, it's just not what the league is now. That's not what players are now. The player empowerment thing kind of adds to this. It's a whole different debate.
But get a buddy who's just smart. And if you mess up and bet on something, just blame the buddy. Like Shohei.
Okay, that's the whole... I'm not even... This is just completely off the rails. Free Shohei.
It's true, though.
Free JMO. Free them all. Free George Pickens. Get him a quarterback, even though he played... Russell actually gave him some balls. I didn't
really watch any of that.
Russ showed some signs.
Pittsburgh's got to be fraud. Like, I just can't get it.
Okay.
There's just a couple of teams that are just like, how are you winning games?
So we can talk about that now. So some NFL observations.
Sure.
Did you write anything down? Or
I did write down a few things.
Okay, go ahead.
So it's KC and everybody else, right? We know that. But...
in the AFC...
in the league.
Oh, buddy. No. The Lions are on the KC tier.
Are they?
For sure. And
they were without Hutch. They're not. They're a step below.
Okay. I disagree. I think they are KC tier.
Now, second tier, Detroit, Buffalo, Baltimore.
I think Detroit's ahead of those teams.
Okay. Ahead of Buffalo for sure. Baltimore scares me a little bit.
Well, yeah, Baltimore's really scary. We have a blueprint. We should have beat them last time we played. We have a blueprint on how to beat Baltimore, and Tucker now is washed. That's also kind of a thing that people aren't really talking about. Tucker's cooked.
Yeah, but what do you mean blueprint to beat Baltimore? We played them last year, and they smushed us.
The other time when Tucker hit the field goal.
60, yeah.
Remember that? They showed, like, there were signs there. Like, Lions totally should have won that game.
Yes.
So that's what I'm referring to.
Yep.
I think a couple of those AFC teams are good. We can talk about Buffalo here. Whatever. Old man Cooper, producing for Buffalo. Shown life. Hasn't shown life for 2 years. You like him more than me, I think.
We watched him last year, and he was making plays.
I think, this year statistically, been terrible. But, like, Cleveland, you can't take anything.
But I'm throwing him the football, so who knows?
Let's be careful what we say about Cleveland, right?
Why do we have to be careful?
Well,
who's a worse fan base, Cleveland or Philly? Philly booed Santa Claus. Philly has booed a lot of things over the years. Cleveland, we're not giving an opinion one way or the other, booed their quarterback, Deshaun Watson, as he was on the field injured. No, they cheered for the injury.
Yeah. Not a good look. Did you see Jameis Winston's speech?
I didn't.
You should.
Yeah.
It's 2 minutes, so you'll probably fall asleep after 45 seconds. Another jab there. Sorry.
Well, it's Tuesday night. It's already 6:35, so.
Yep. PM Eastern Standard. So we talked about, let's see, Jets. Can we talk about Jets a little bit?
Listen, I love it. Who are they going to come up? Like, who's...
I got 2 names. That will fix all their problems.
That will fix all their problems? So these are their scapegoats.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
Do you have any predictions on who I'm going to say?
No.
Jordy Nelson, I think, is an option. I think he's a free agent. I don't think he's played for a few years.
They're going to bring him back?
That's my bid.
Okay.
And then for some RB depth, I think Eddie Lacy's still got some gas in the tank.
Eddie Lacy, he's a big fella.
So I think if they got a couple more Rodgers buddies from 12 years ago, maybe
Chuck Woodson still around?
What's he up to? He's in good
college
shape.
Stuff.
He does college stuff. Get him off Fox. Put him there. Clay Matthews, he could still hit some guys, right? Yeah. I think you just got to call up Packer friends of Rodgers from a decade ago, and that's going to fix the Jets' problems.
Yep.
Good job, Jets. Just bringing in Adams, I criticize pretty openly because I'm anti-Adams.
I really wonder what Adams would be like on a good team. Because the Raiders are not, and the Jets are not a good team.
Yeah, like it would have been nice to see. I think the Chiefs might go get a guy, or the Chargers, or a team like that.
Chiefs might get Cooper Kupp if they can figure out the cap ramifications.
I don't super buy into that, but you're right, possible. Look, the Jets, like it's just
who else is out there wide receiver wise?
Cooper was the big
Carolina's
one.
Got a guy. Who does Carolina have?
Thielen, but is that who you're referring to?
No, they've got another guy. Thielen went somewhere else.
Oh, Deontay Johnson.
I
like Deontay Johnson quite a bit, actually. I think he might be real. I think I have a lot of Chiefs buzz with him.
Yeah.
Look, Jets, I don't bring it in Rodgers guys. I'm anti-Rodgers.
Well, right? Tampa Bay lost both their wide receivers. One of them with like 43 seconds to play.
So let's talk about that. So Godwin, did you see the injury?
No.
Don't want to. Just like ankle, complete 90 degree.
Oh.
Sorry. So Godwin's out, but there's a pretty awesome clip of him being carted off, and you can read his lips, and he's like, let's get to work, or something like that. Get to work, or get after it. And it's like, that's sweet. That's metal.
He's tough.
I think he's gotten tougher. This guy who's not super tough. I'm not sure if Mike Evans is tough. He's out for like a month plus, looks like.
Is it really? Oh, so his 1,000-yard streak is going to be broken.
I was just looking at the numbers. They're saying like he's going to have to average like 100 yards when he comes back per game. Something like that. 80 yards per game, depending on when he's back.
Listen, Baker, it's pretty good.
Baker's gritty. Look, like they're like the Bucs are still going to be...
throw. He can chuck it down the field. He's good.
They're going to be a tough out. The Chiefs, we talked about the Chiefs a lot. No more Chiefs propaganda. They just win ugly games. And you know who else can win ugly games? The team
Detroit can win ugly games.
Team of Ford Field, right? Yeah. We'll see you then. So
they can win 10-8 for fun.
The Chiefs' defense is really, really good. And that's kind of how they're winning all these games. People aren't talking about that a ton. Like, Holmes isn't great. Has not been awesome this year. But he's done enough to win all the games, right?
Yeah.
49ers. I just broke down RIP 49ers. We were on this take.
Yeah, we did. Well, we just said San Francisco was holding on by a string. They had like locker room stuff and lots of holdouts. And I don't know how this plays out, but obviously they've had a lot of injuries. Now, are those injuries tied to people holding out, not getting good practice, not getting good training camp? I don't know, but something is not working the 49ers way, and I feel terrible for you.
Well, Deebo's got pneumonia, so I don't know if vitamin C correlates to that, but I take vitamin C gummies sometimes in the winter in the morning, and that I think it's just to clear the immune system. Maybe that's what Deebo should do.
Banana tea?
Banana tea, that's a different thing. That's just comes down before bed. It's good stuff.
Then I gotta have the smushy banana in my smoothie.
Okay, buddy. Ayuk holds out, comes back, gets the bag financial term.
Hardly did anything for the first 3 games or so.
That's where it's going. It was terrible, and then is done for the year. So 49ers...
He was okay for like 10 minutes, and now he's done.
Yeah, so he's done. Houston, I was super in on Houston. I'm now out on Houston.
Just because they've been terrible since they lost Nico.
It's the offensive line. You got to watch the tape.
Okay.
It's like, remember in Longest Yard?
Yes.
When the O-line's mad at Crew, and they let everybody in. It's like that. It's like Stroud did something bad, and he didn't because he's the man. But it's like the O-line hates Stroud for some reason, and they let everybody through. Like last game, 48% pressure on his dropbacks. Half the time. That's terrible. And you can tell. Like by looking at it, it's like he's on the run the whole game.
He still makes a lot of plays on the run.
Oh, dude, Stroud's the man. Stroud's going to be a Hall of Famer. And then Drake Maye season. He has arrived. I'm in on Maye.
Yep. Well, you talk about the bottom tier in the NFL, and sorry, Carolina. So you've got the Panthers that, their worst, like one of the worst stretches, 3-year stretches in NFL history. Oh, we still have basketball. Charlotte has been bad for at least a decade.
They're going to be sneaky this year, I think.
Sneaky what? Like the
11 seed?
Oh, yeah, sneaky 11 seed. That's exactly where you want to be.
I like Brandon Miller a lot.
So do I. Who else do you like there? Lonzo?
No, I like Mark Williams, their backup center.
Yes, you do.
I like Mark Williams.
Isaac just picks obscure guys like, oh, come on, Mark Williams, let's go. Well, I need some Jonas Valanciunas minutes. Let's go.
Over 6.5 Williams rebounds. Like, that's good. That's good when he's healthy. No, I like we'll talk NBA very, very soon.
Yeah, we'll wait.
Perhaps right now. Do we have any more on the NFL? What else do you have? I'm good on football right now.
No, NFL's great.
Yeah, good job, football.
So good. So
Need
good.
you. Lions, Soupy, let's get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're talk basketball now, which you didn't prepare for, which is good.
I do. I have some points. It must be later on in the sheet. But here's the problem, Isaac. I think I've told the fans this.
This is propaganda.
I gave him access to my document just because I'm very trusting, and so sometimes I'll pop into my document, and I'll see Isaac editing, right? Because Word. It's not Word. It's Google Docs.
Google Docs.
I can see him when he's editing my stuff. I should just put on track changes so that way I can see all the stuff that you're doing.
So this propaganda, I'll counter it with saying he just puts down brain rot garbage and thinks it's, and I'm you're not talking about this.
It's good
you're not
content.
talking about this.
I want to talk a little bit about the Windsor International Film Festival. Isaac said no.
Now again, I'm a big fan of Windsor and the International Film Festival and all that comes with it. Just, today we're talking about basketball and football.
Not a ton of our fans are big whiff guys.
So that's enough now. Thanks for that. Can we talk about basketball? Or you want to talk about some more?
We do need to talk about basketball.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so there's some hot takes. It's opening night, and because the Lions and the Tigers have been so much, honestly, I haven't been preparing myself for it. I didn't give any heads up to Daniela mom that, hey, there's going to be some basketball on every night now.
She doesn't. She knows. I'll hang some jerseys around the house, some decor.
You know what? Tonight, we got to start putting some basketball stuff. As soon as we trade, well, my Guelph water polo shirt, I don't think I get enough credit for that. No, I didn't play on the Guelph water polo team in my youth, but Alex did.
Yeah.
Okay, so basketball. Oof, yeah. Let's.
I'm gonna take.
Let's just jump in. No, MVP.
Okay, holy yap. Go ahead.
So we have 3 international guys, maybe 4 top MVP candidates. Shea, Luka, Jokic, and Giannis cannot be counted out. Is there anybody else that's included in there? You want to throw Ant in there too, don't you?
I it's a dark horse. I wouldn't if I was putting a pick, I'd say Shea. Because I think the Thunder win the West. I think they win 58, 59 games.
I agree with you.
And
very deep.
They're the 1 seed in the West, and Shea averages 33, 6, and 5. And the 1 seed in the Celtic, and the 1 seed in the East is the Celtics, and it's Tatum who got a measly 26 on 38% from the field.
Sure.
They're gonna give it to Shea.
Is that Jason Tatum 5 for 19? Is that his
That's
middle
who it
name?
is, buddy.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
So I like Shea a lot, but kind of Luka's due. So if the Mavericks get a 2 seed and Luka puts up his 35, 10, and 10,
sure. Yeah, that I think that's a bigger if, because obviously you've got Kyrie having to behave for another 7 months, which is unlikely.
Yeah, he is due, isn't he?
Oh, due for a thing? Yeah, like the moon, the flat Earth, something's got to happen. Sorry, Klay Thompson. What's the deal with Klay? How much is
Don't have him for MVP.
No, I don't have him for MVP. Does he have any defense left?
I don't know.
I love Klay.
I haven't trained with him this summer.
I love Klay, but I think he's going to take another step down, and he's going to be washing dishes. Sorry, Klay.
Say that again. I don't know if people heard it because you don't know how the mic works.
Klay is going to be washing dishes. Sorry, Klay.
Super disrespectful.
Well, I love him, but he's not the guy anymore. He's probably a 6th man. That's where he should be.
Look, I think Dallas might regress a bit. But you could also make the opposite argument. Say, Lively's going to improve. Luka might be in shape this year.
Listen, I don't think Dallas is going to have a great regular season, but I do not want to play them in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's fair. I'd like to see, it's so tough to say with how these teams are going to look right now. Dallas is one of the teams where it's I don't really know what to expect with them. But
so Dallas, so Luka, Kyrie, Klay, who's their center?
Well, Lively and Gafford.
Who's their 4?
They would go...
They can't use Max Kleber or whatever his name is.
Why can't they use Kleber?
Is he quick enough to guard a 4?
Although
Lively can guard anybody.
Yeah, they like Lively in the paint. Look, Dallas is going to be good, but I don't know if they're going to be great.
Okay.
So MVP, yeah, Eileen Shea. We'll talk something that's not a boring chalk prediction. Cooper Flag watch, just a little bit here. Just sprinkle it early. Cooper Flag, first overall.
Listen, I worry about this. I spent so much time and effort, and just the Victor Wembanyama stuff. It literally took years off my life. That whole process with the Pistons dropping to 5. What I'm trying to do is is it Ace Bailey who's the second guy?
I'm not looking at that. I'm just
I need to look at that because I need a little bit of hope. Because what's going to happen is I can't bet on the number 1 seed. So I need to look at, if they drop to 3, if they drop to 4, they drop to 5, is there still going to be a good guy? I don't know, who could shoot the basketball a little bit?
Yeah,
crazy?
So I'm not talking about the Pistons at all right now.
I have to talk about them.
I'm not right now. I'm talking about Cooper Flag right now.
Cooper Flag watch.
So Cooper Flag, the 3 worst teams in basketball are Brooklyn, Washington, and Portland. Probably in that order. I would like to see Cooper Flag go to Brooklyn. I would like the Nets to just win 16 games, win the lottery, and I'd like him to just kind of run the Nets. Because the Nets don't have anything close to a guy.
Sorry, can I say that this is assuming That the Pistons don't get him? You're just trying to put that
Oh, the
outside?
Pistons are going to win a few games. And by a few, I mean like 24.
Yeah, that's actually the number that I wrote down.
Yeah. So maybe.
But that'll still make them 5th.
Yeah, look, the East is bad. The Pistons aren't going to. We'll talk about the Pistons a little later.
Yeah.
Cooper Flag's just going to be interesting to see the back half of the year. Teams are going to want him.
For sure. Who's the best player on the Nets? Like Nick Claxton?
It's going to be Cam Thomas. Because Cam Thomas
can score. Yeah,
He'll put up 30 a game.
Yeah.
Lots of Memphis buzz right now. Lots of Memphis buzz. John Morant.
Deservedly so.
You're in.
Yes.
I have to be like cautious here.
I've gone up and down on the John Morant train, but
Free him.
free him. Let him go because, man, he makes plays.
Yeah.
And he's got guys.
Edie, Rookie of the Year. I kind of think he's going to be really good.
So Jackson can shoot threes, so they can put them both on the court at the same time, I guess.
Yes. Oh, yeah, Jaren
Although
Jackson.
Edie's not going to play a ton of minutes, will he?
I think he's going to play
he
enough.
played a lot in college and he didn't really get tired that much.
And he can shoot free throws. I think Edie's going to be really good. I think he's going to play a lot.
Like, who's going to go? Like, there's a lot of, unless you have a big center, you have a tough time guarding him. Like, he can seal and he's going to get the ball down low.
There's going to be a lot of teams that just can't match up with him.
Yeah.
And there's going to be teams that, it's going to be like, okay, are they just going to use a
If he
pick and
can
roll?
learn to hit an 18-foot jump shot with jaw, that'll be awesome.
That will be cool.
Forget it. 3, he'll get to 3 in a couple of years.
So we're talking about Memphis. The East is pretty weak this year.
East is really... So,
Go ahead.
I guess the Knicks are the second best team in the East?
I said that last year.
Yeah.
I said, and that was kind of not popular. I think this year for sure. I think the Knicks are second best team in the East, and I don't think it's close. I'm really out on Philly. So this is kind of a pro Knicks, anti Sixers for me stance right now.
Pretty easy. You sent this to me today. Both Embiid and George are not playing tomorrow night. They play Wednesday,
Yeah.
so they're not playing.
Well, here's the thing.
Maxi's gonna have to score 70 points a game.
So we talked about, as soon as Kawhi got announced out indefinitely, I texted him and I sent it to him. I just said, basketball's back. Kawhi out indefinitely. It's like basketball's here. And I love Kawhi, but it's like I saw that. It's like we're close. I'm sniffing
The
basketball.
leaves are turning orange.
Yeah.
Kawhi's out indefinitely.
And I got Embiid and Paul George out. Basketball. It's here.
Basketball's back.
So I'm not buying it. Philly. They have the 4th best odds to win it all. I don't get that. Like better odds than the Nuggets, better odds than Timberwolves.
Can we bet against them to win it all? Is that a real thing?
It's tough to profit off of that, but yeah, you could. What else? So hard to see anyone in the West other than OKC for me coming out of the West.
Mini? I like Minnesota.
Minnesota I have second.
Yeah, listen, I'd love if Denver makes another run because they're so much fun to watch.
I wrote that down. Man Denver might be cooked.
Jamal Murray is going to have to play like an all-star, and he's only done, the last time he did that was the playoffs.
That's the Lakers.
So is it 2 years ago or 3 years ago?
I think 2 against the Lakers, right?
I don't remember.
When he just lit up the Lakers.
Okay.
But he wasn't good in the other rounds. Murray's your guy, and he's been your guy for like 10 years.
I'm not sure if people know he's Canadian. He didn't really play well on the Olympic team, though.
Denver's in trouble. A lot of people are counting them out. I still think Jokic is going to be awesome and enough to like carry them, maybe MVP. Like super dark horse MVP. Jokic is kind of out.
They signed Gordon like today, maybe.
Yeah, they had to keep their core. I don't know what Denver's going to do, but they'll love
it. Small forward Porter.
Yeah, Michael Porter Jr.
He misses too many shots, and he doesn't.
Good analysis.
Like, he's not that good on D.
When he tries, he's good.
3 and D. Yeah, when he tries.
Milwaukee.
3 and D, you need to hit 3 and then play good D.
So Milwaukee's like the eastern version of the Nuggets, kind of for me, where it's like really awesome guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of a lot of question marks, and some with Milwaukee, the question marks are with age, right?
What's going to happen with Milwaukee? Is Dame going to come back?
I would like to see a Dame resurgence.
So would I. He's fun to watch and playing with Giannis, but like you have to assume that Middleton is going to get injured. Lopez is going to have to take a step back, although he really hasn't done it that much yet.
Yeah, I love Brook. That's
He's
my guy.
awesome. He's the guy who's totally changed his game.
I just wrote down, everyone watch the Spurs. Please watch the Spurs, guys. If you're not going to stay up late.
They're going to be fun to watch.
Just in the morning.
Watch the summary.
When you're having coffee, breakfast.
You're talking to people other than me.
Everybody. Just watch the Spurs. Watch Victor Wembanyama. It's special. Like, I'm lucky to be able to be a basketball fan whilst he's in the league.
Agree.
Whilst. Rookie of the Year. I like Edie. I also like Stephon Castle. This guy the Spurs drafted.
Yeah.
I think Spurs are going to be sneaky. Old man Christopher has a little bit more time. He's going to play with Vic.
Listen, he somehow seems to make teams win. It's just how he rolls.
Yeah. So I like Castle, but just like emphasizing, I want to hammer this. Guys, watch the Spurs. Watch Victor's tape. Just watch it and enjoy it. Unabashedly. Do you have anything else on hoops?
I do have to ask about Boston. So we know that Boston is the best, deepest team in the league. Convince me. Tell me why they don't win 64 games and are in the finals again.
It would be, the only reason would be an implosion.
So an implosion, and that could happen just because, Brown could decide he's not getting enough touches when, Tatum does 5 for 19s in a row. You're dependent on Horford or Porzingis. One of those two guys need to be good in the playoffs, and really KP.
I just checked Horford's age. It says he's 78. So Horford
78 years old?
He doesn't have much time left, and Porzingis is actually hurt already, right? He's out for.
Is he really? I didn't know that.
Well, he's out for a bit. Remember?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And that's going to carry over.
Okay.
So Boston.
You didn't answer my question.
I can't
Implosion?
Implosion is the only option. Boston is so good. It's
good.
absurd how good they are, how well built they are.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Boston
Derek
guy.
White's good. Holiday's so good.
But I recognize their greatness.
But even their role players are stepping up.
Shout out Uncle Phil and Colin. They're Celtics fans. They get to enjoy this awesome team. It must be cool.
Please enjoy it. Something bad is going to happen eventually, but I don't think it's going to be this year.
Okay. Now, last I'd like to talk about Coach Rob Betts. This is a new segment.
Coach Rob Betts.
So Coach Rob and I...
Should we have some music for Coach Rob Betts?
Well, we probably get some sort of copyright YouTube issue, so we're not going to do that.
I don't think Beyonce's going to sue us.
I'm not going to play Beyonce, buddy. Be Eminem.
I know.
Or Key Glock. You like Key Glock?
I don't know about Key Glock. Sorry. Sorry, Bauer. Sorry, Wiz. Sorry, Braden.
Okay. So Coach Rob and I every year pick a team and pick their win total. We're in on Sacramento.
One team?
We pick one team that we're in on.
Okay.
2 years ago, Sacramento. That hit. Not last year was Indiana. That hit. This year, we're in on Orlando. Over 47.5 wins, 48.5, depending where you get it. We like the Magic. The East is weak. It's a lot of bad teams.
So 47.5?
47, 48, depending. Yeah.
So if the number is 47, and if I get to pick 47, I think it's going to be right around that number, 47 or 48. There's so many bad teams in the East.
So that's our team this year. Another one, we're sprinkling a little bit on Wemby to get 6 triple doubles. That's 10 to 1.
That too.
That's 10 to 1. We like Victor. Other teams, Suns over 47.5. I think the Suns are going to win games. Do you know who's coaching them now?
No.
Budenholzer.
Oh.
Good regular season guy.
He is. You don't think they're going to get injured?
I think they're going to have to play. The West is so good.
I don't. I'm taking under on the Suns.
And then the Clippers, I think Clippers are going to be terrible. I think Clippers are going to be really, really bad.
The funny thing is OKC has their first round draft pick, which is hilarious.
Yeah. Also, Pistons over 25.5 wins.
Under.
Yeah, probably under. That's all I got on hoops and Coach Rob Betts. But yeah, go Magic.
Thanks, everybody. Talk to you soon. I don't think it stopped.
Well, they're still going. So talk about the Tigers.
Why don't we talk about the Tigers
for 2 minutes?
The free agents?
Yeah, I don't know why you stopped.
Hey, my gosh, the Tigers. I need to thank the Tigers.
I don't know why you stopped so abruptly.
I thought we were done.
You've been talking about the Tigers all day.
I have been talking about... No, I've been talking about the Tigers nonstop for 3 weeks. Thank you for a great run. It was the longest drought in MLB, tied with the Angels. Now it's done. It was awesome. Improbable, the 0.2%. I know everybody's talked about that. But I'm just thinking about where they are. If you had to pick Tigers who would supplement Yankees in their lineup, you've got Carp and Riley and Skubal and maybe a bullpen guy or two. That's it.
That's a foolish argument that I'm not participating in.
Okay, you don't have to participate in, but it's accurate.
Okay.
So there's also the free agents, and I did copy and paste something that Isaac didn't get to see, so he didn't delete it. But I'm going to go on a different angle. What made the Tigers unique was not individual play. It was the totality of their play in individual situations. So listen, would it be nice to have a little bit more home run power? Some of that you're going to get organically with development of your players. Some of that you're probably going to have to go and trade for a shortstop, a first baseman, somebody who can pop you 20 home runs, right? We need to do that. Probably not a trade, probably a free agent. And that shouldn't cost a lot of money. From a bullpen depth or starting pitcher depth, I'm not as worried about that because they'll just find guys to eat up innings. They can bring them up from AAA. I'm not worried about that, but I would like a little more depth, and I just want our players to develop because situationally, they were awesome. I do have a question for you. Have the Tigers, and did AJ change the game with all this Skubal and chaos?
Very ESPN-y question again.
I know.
To an extent, yes.
Yeah, they did.
To an extent.
We're going to have to let the dog in a minute.
Well, you're going to take her for a walk because I have school. I have to go study somewhere, online class. But there's basketball tonight, so I got to multitask.
Go quick.
I just got to say, thanks, Tigers. October baseball was fun to live it, so I appreciate that. That's all.
Okay. Thanks, Tigers. See you soon.